uitermate, dus u moet bekend zijn met dit. Wie is dit? Yeah, you can speak English. Who's this? Representative of Christ. Yeah? Okay. Who says so? According to the Bible, that's not a description. Okay. Then what is the description according to the Bible? People like us. So where do I go to find out? He just pointed it out. Shall we go there together? Let's go to the book of Revelation.
Bring it up.
Chapter 1, verse 1.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ.
So to reveal something is to make something clear. You understand? So we're going to reveal by the word, by the Holy Bible, we're going to reveal, we're going to make clear what Christ looked like. So let's read on.
That's right. Bring it up.
Read.
To show unto his servants things which must surely come to pass.
So here, John the Revelator got a vision. And these things are true sayings, what he's showing him. So things that will happen. So let's go to verse 14.
Verse 14. His head.
Oh, wait a minute. Let's go to verse 12.
Verse 12.
Yeah. Read.
And I turned to see the voice that spake with me. And being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks.
So John the Revelator here, he went into a vision and he heard a voice. And when he turned to look at the voice, he saw what?
And I turned to see the voice that speak with me. And being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks.
He saw 7 golden candlesticks, the menorah, like this here. You see? Read.
And in the midst of the 7 golden sticks, one like unto the Son of Man.
He saw someone that looked like the Son of Man, Jesus Christ. He's also known as the Son of Man.
Clothed with a garment down to the foot.
So he had a body. He was clothed. He could see him and he recognized him because he walked with Christ.
And girt about the paps with a golden girdle.
Read.
His head and his hair were white like wool.
So this is the point. His head and his hairs were white. White is the color. Wool is the texture. So who on this planet Earth has woolly hair, sis?
Bring it up.
Can you tell me? It's a question actually. Who has woolly hair on this earth? Blacks. If you feel on your head, it's woolly hair. Go. Read.
As white as snow.
So it was fully white.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
And his eyes were red. Let's see why. Let's go to the book of Genesis 49 and verse 12. So we just read the first the first features of Christ. His head on his hair were white like wool. So white the color and the texture was wool. If you look at this picture, does this guy, this so-called Christ figure, does he have white hair? Or woolly, in matter of fact? So if I ask you, which one of these depictions has white woolly hair? No? The one on the right, no? Okay, so let's move on. We read his eyes would be red like fire. Let's read why his eyes would be red like fire. Do you know the story of Christ? Do you know what the first miracle of Christ was? He turned, sorry? He turned water into wine. Yes, you're correct. Read.
This is the book of Genesis chapter 49 and verse 12. His eyes shall be red with wine.
His eyes shall be red with wine. So Moses prophesied that the eyes of Christ would be red with wine. If our people drink a little bit of wine, the white of our eyes turn red. that you can see like, hey, this guy, hey, I think he drunk a little, right? So, yeah, read on.
His head and his hair were white like wool,
So his head and his hair were white like wool,
as white as snow,
white, pure white,
and his eyes were as a flame of fire.
and his eyes were as a flame of fire. Now we know why. He drank wine in moderation, not to get drunk.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
And his feet. Now if I look at your feet, I can slightly see like your ankles, right? So if I see the color of your feet, are your arms a different color? Or is just the rest of your skin a different color? Sorry, what did you say, sis? If I look at your feet, is the rest of your skin a different color than your feet? It depends on what? Okay, but overall, if I look at your feet, for example, and your feet are green, right? Your skin color is green, for example, right? Shouldn't the rest of your body also be green? Yeah, though. So now, if I see your feet and your feet are white, for example, and I look at your face, is your face then a different color? Sorry, sis? Should be the same color, right? So let's read on.
And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burn in the furnace.
Brass. Do you know what kind of color brass is this? Do you know what kind of color brass is this? Brass. Do you know the color of brass? No, the metal brass. Yeah. Brownish, though? This is an example of brass. You see? It's a derivative of brown. Actually, if I put it next to your skin, it's almost the same, right? So, okay. So let's look. So he looks at his feet and he sees his feet, and his feet are the color of brass. So let's
And
see.
feet like unto fine brass, as if they burn in a furnace.
So if I take this brass and I now burn it, what color would this get? Darker, right? So Christ was a dark man.
That's
right. In the terminology of today, he was a black man.
That's right.
Okay. So now we know that the Messiah looks like us. So he's a dark man. His skin color was really dark, as if he was burned in a furnace. So why, if you look at this depiction of Christ, we believe that this is a true representation of Christ. Actually, this image, do you know where it comes from? It's the Renaissance image of Christ. This actually is a man named Caesar Borgia. And actually, this whole thing we learned during these periods. These were the periods that we learned them. You see? All these men, they created different types of religion. And instead of reading the Bible, and they started these religions all, if you look at the dates, when they started it, at these dates, do you know your own history? Sorry, sis, what you say? Can I elaborate? These dates, we were all in slavery. So during slavery, there was a policy. If you were working as a slave, the slave master prohibited you to read or write. So we could not read, we could not write for ourselves. So everything that we learned out of this book was given to us, word to mouth. So they gave us this depiction. And they beat. Did you ever see the movie? Not 12 Years a Slave. Is it Roots? Yeah. Did you ever see the movie Roots? Do you know the term Kunta Kinte? Yeah. What did they do with Kunta Kinte? Actually, his name in the movie was Tobit. But how did he get the name Kunta Kinte? Oh, but sorry, his name was Kunta Kinte, and in the movie they called him Toby. But how did he get the name Toby? Toby. Do you know? Actually, in the beginning of the movie, when they cut him out of Africa and brought him to the plantation, they took a whip, tied him to a tree, and told him, "Your name, what is your name?" And they whipped him until he accepted the name the slave master gave him. So with a whip, they taught us everything. Because can you imagine that if I kidnap you now and I tell you to clean my house, would you do it willingly? No, you wouldn't. So what do I have to do to make you do those things? I need to whip you in submission. And all these things, we're going to bring it out. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy.
Bring it up.
Yeah. So actually, if you look over here, sis, this is a history that we have in common with the native Indian people. These are the African blacks, or the black people nowadays. What they say, the black people, the Negroes, not the Africans, but the Negroes. And these are the native Indian people who were in America. So, and we have a similar history, because when the colonizer went to America, they took the people that were already there, the native Indians, and they brought them to Europe. And from Africa, they took the Negro slaves and brought them to the Americas to work on the plantations. So let's go to the book of Deuteronomy. Read chapter 28, verse 1. So here, we are going to read when Moses came out of Egypt with the children of... Do you know the story of Moses? The history of Moses? Okay. Last one. This is the last one. This is the last thing. This is the last thing. Let's read.
There's the book of Deuteronomy chapter
Go to 15.
28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So curses will come upon us, on the people that were called the Israelites, And keep in mind what I showed you on these pictures, right? Go to verse 68.
Verse 68. And the Lord shall bring...
So before you read, wait a minute. A curse, is that a good thing or a bad thing? A bad thing. Now this is one of the curses. Read.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So Egypt, if you read the book of Exodus chapter 20 verse 2, it explains that the word Egypt means the house of bondage. And here it says you will go into the house of bondage on ships. Read.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again
in the house of bondage again
with ships, by the way whereof I speak unto thee.
With ships. You see?
Thou shalt see it no more again.
Read.
And there ye shall be sold.
And there, when you come off the ships, you're gonna be sold. You are from the Antilles Islands. There you will be sold.
Unto your enemies.
Unto your enemies. It wasn't our friends. They whipped us into submission. So would a friend do that to you? And this is a history that's also your history. So you can recognize yourself by these stories out of the Bible, what we're reading for you, that it's not speaking about all nations, because this thing didn't happen to all nations. It happened to our ancestors.
That's right.
Okay, so let's go to the book. So you heard what we read that curses would come upon us if we didn't follow the law of God, right? So let's read one of the laws of God. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy 22 and 5. So this is one of the laws of God. Actually, it's a simple law. And it was simple laws that we could not follow that we went into slavery. So I'm going to give you a law, sis. So if you believe in the Bible and you believe in Christ, you should uphold the law so we can get out of this bondage state that we're in. Because now we black people are the lowest grade of people on this planet Earth. We are the first one fired, toch? The last one hired. Do you know that proverb? Do you know that? No? They make us out of, they say we are criminal, you know? Hey, they say that, hey, we can't stick with one woman, we don't marry, we make kids all over the place. These are all proverbs that we got. Names that people call us. These ways that people say that we are. And all these things happen because we broke the laws of God. So let us read one small law that you yourself can keep.
There's the book of Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man.
So the woman shall not wear that what pertains unto a man. What does a woman nowadays wear that pertains unto a man? Don't you know? So for example, if we go to a restaurant, right? And you need to go to the restroom. Which restroom will you go into? The ladies. How do you recognize the ladies? How do you distinct the ladies' restroom from the men's restroom? Sorry? The symbols. What kind of symbols is on the ladies' door? Sorry? A skirt, right? And the men? Pants, right? So what do ladies nowadays wear what pertains unto a man? Read on.
The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man. Neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. For all that do so are abomination unto the Lord thy God.
So do you understand what we just read? So a woman should not wear what pertains unto a man. Toch? What's that? Pants, toch? So you can uphold that law. It's an easy law. Look at this beautiful sister with a beautiful dress. You see? Yeah. You see? Yeah? So this is one law that you can keep, okay? And take it home with you. Okay, sis?
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is